Stand by. Shooter ready.
Stand by.
Hi, welcome back to another episode of the PRS podcast. Today we're going to try a little bit different format and have a little unique opportunity for a guest here, and it should make for a fun show and a fun follow-up, hopefully, when we do another one of these, hopefully coming up here. So, Tate, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, what's up? My name is Tate Cunningham, and I live over in Niceville, Florida. If anybody knows where Destin is, that's kind of right here on the Panhandle. A lot of vacationers down here. It's a good spot.
Yeah, heck yeah. I'm aware of the area. We try to go spring break down there in the Panhandle of Florida. It's not crazy busy, not crazy tourists, and very, very nice area. All right.
Yeah, it's a good spot.
It is. Tate, so I have you on because you're a relatively new shooter. Looking at your profile, you shot a match in September last year, rimfire match, and then you've shot a couple centerfire regionals this year.
Yep.
You and I linked up, I think, via Facebook Messenger. And this isn't an open invitation for everybody to send me a Facebook message. I do try to respond to most of them. The people who reach out, it may take me a day or two or three or a week, I don't know, but I do try to reply to those. But you'd sent me a message, you're like, man, I'm really digging the podcast. I'm just new to this. Wish I'd found it sooner, right? The sport of precision rifle. Okay. Why did you send me that message?
Man, I think I was mostly just excited about the sport in general and just really enjoyed the podcast. I'd kind of gone through all the Miles to Matches podcast, Morgan's, JTAC. I've kind of reached my end. And I really love this one. And, I'm an entrepreneur now and just was curious about the industry and just kind of wanted to reach out, say hi, introduce myself, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
I could tell in that message, and then obviously we followed up with a phone call, etc.
Yeah.
But I could tell that you're at that point in your PRS journey, we'll call it, where like you're looking for all of that information. You're looking for anything you can get your hands on.
Yes.
And super excited about the opportunity and competing and all that. And I think, and that's one of the big reasons we're doing this podcast. I think that resonates with a lot of newer shooters. And I remember the first 2-3 years of me getting into this and just trying to soak up as much as I could. So hopefully we can kind of follow you through your journey here and see where you end up here, 6 months from now, a year from now, 18 months, etc.
Sure.
Yeah. So how did you find the PRS?
So I guess going way back, I sold my business a couple of years ago and was just kind of looking for something new to do. I was in the fly fishing industry for a long time and I got pretty burned out on that. So just wanted to, I just want to go to the range and shoot. I grew up in Southwest Oklahoma on a farm there and just had always done it, but got away from it. And, so when that happened, I was like, well, I'm going to buy a rifle and I'm just going to go. And that kind of turned into, man, this is pretty fun. And then I shot bench rest 22 for a hot minute. I was like the youngest guy there, basically. Super great folks, but I just got really bored pretty fast and heard from a buddy at the range. He's like, hey, you should come try this DMR match. And I was like, well, that sounds fun. So I show up to that and man, it was awesome, but I couldn't see anything. I'm shooting like this 13-pound 308, and it was just like my rifle was nowhere near like what everybody else was doing. It was mostly gas guns, but there were some bolt guns there.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how I heard about PRS. And then I went and did a 22 match and just had a ton of fun. And then that was kind of the beginning of the hooks are deep, you know, got a center fire rifle and yeah, it's been downhill ever since.
Yeah. The hooks are set deep. That's a fly fishing analogy, I guess.
I guess so. Yeah. I get pretty obsessive on if I find something new that I really like a new hobby, like I tend to go all the way, if that makes sense, you know, like drill down to the bottom and just, I want to know the why behind the why, you know, and so this very much scratches that itch because it's so detailed and I'm very detailed. And I hear people say they hate to reload. I personally love to reload. So it's the process. I don't know. It's kind of cathartic, but yeah.
So I also love to reload. I love spending. This is my reloading room. I love spending a lot of time in here, and I think it's for me, it's a way that I can like sort of participate in doing the sport, but doing it in my own house, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's not actually shooting, but it's like still getting ready to shoot. It's doing it. Plus engineering background, like I love manufacturing and that type of thing, and it's all part of it. But let's talk about your fly fishing background. I think that's kind of fascinating and probably relatable to a lot of folks. You know, that would be coming in, right?
Yeah. So going way back, I was in the music industry for a little over 10 years. I used to live in Franklin, Tennessee, which is just south of Nashville. And when we'd be on the road, you know, I would take my stuff fly fishing with me. So I just kind of fell in love, you know, just with fly fishing, being out in nature, kind of another hobby that just I became obsessed with. And when I got out of the industry in summer of 17, it was like, okay, well, what's next? And I started a fly rod and reel manufacturing company with a former college roommate of mine. And
Nice.
yeah, so I kind of just took one passion, which was music and what I did for a long time, and kind of shifted it to another passion. And I feel like that's being passionate about what you do, like really fills the sails, you know, and drives you forward. And that was very much that sport onto that business. So I did that up until, let's see, summer of 23.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a great experience, man. There's so many, like parallels between fly fishing and PRS. Like, it's, you know, you're always trying to solve the puzzle, whether it's like figuring out the wind or like what trout are, you know, what they're keying in on. Cause it's not always, let me just tie on whatever and they're going to hit. I mean, there's a lot of fly fishing besides trout fishing, but for this analogy, we'll go with trout.
Yeah.
You know, it's yeah, the sport's very much like that. And, you know, it's gear heavy. Like I'm a gearhead. I love gear. Like same with shooting to, you know, going out and doing something fun with your bros to, you know, trying to put all the pieces together. It's one of those things you can't always perfect. With maybe the exception of Ben Gossett. I heard about that one.
Yeah, right. Yep. We're in Austin, Bushman. Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's, yeah, the fly fishing industry was great, but, the community, although it's awesome, it's very different than the PRS community and some of the social constructs. Like, the thing I was like most blown away about with the PRS is I mean, the shooting's awesome. Like I think about it
It's fun.
probably in an unhealthy way, but the community is amazing. Just the people that are there and how supportive they are for newer guys or guys that have been around for. Everybody's just having a good time, giving each other jabs. You know, how's the family, dude? It's phenomenal. Yeah. So kudos to whoever like started that, who set the tone at the beginning
Right.
because, you
Right.
know, I don't know where that comes from. Either we're, you know, the nicest folks in the world or we're standing around with firearms. I don't know which, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's awesome.
And we all seem to be cut from a very similar cloth, you know.
Yeah,
You know, and I don't mean that just sort of demographically either.
sure.
It's, you know, sort of the belief systems and all of that. Like
Hmm.
we're all pretty similar. And we have this mindset, and that's one of the things that you know, I'm happy to hear you talk about in, you know, like sort of the parallels from these other sports and what brought you in. And man, there's a lot of folks living parallel lives right now, right, that are just into this. And I'm sure, you know, listening to this
Yeah,
podcast, you're like, that's me. That is totally
yeah,
me. But it comes from, you know, stock car
yeah,
racing or something, you know, not just
yeah.
fly fishing or hunting or whatever. Yeah.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
like, there's always the thing to do, right? Here's this
Hmm.
thing, and that's cool. But like, it's really, I think what makes something great is kind of the journey and like the people you're
Yeah.
going to do it with, and you know, the road trips and the
Hmm.
laughs and the friends you make along the way. I think the journey is like as as important as like the thing you're doing. So, and that's
Yes.
very much like apparent here, which is super fun. So,
The journey's a big part of it, you know.
yeah,
That's maybe that's what we're going to title this podcast, you know, the journey.
there you go.
So, so you said Niceville, Florida,
Yep.
is where you're at now.
Hmm.
Your home range is Altus.
So currently my home range is Element, which is
Okay.
Element Training Center. It's like halfway between here and Altus. It's a great range, but
Yeah.
it's been really limited this year because FPL, which is like what is that? Florida Power and Light. They're building a solar
Yeah.
field beyond the 6 and 1,000, and it's like that's where I want to be, and I haven't been able to all year. So long way of saying I'm probably, you know, once my once I re up, I'm probably going to go over to Altus.
Okay.
It's just more conducive to, you know,
Yeah.
training PRS and all the things. It's like a
How
golf course.
far? It
It's
is. It's
nice. Yeah.
very nice facility.
Yeah.
How far away is Element from where you're at?
So Element is like 28 minutes out the door.
Oh,
And then,
that's close.
yeah. And
Yeah.
then Altus is, I think I made it in like 56 or just
That's
south of an
yeah.
hour. So it's not
Yeah.
bad, you know? Um,
No, a very great facility, and
yeah.
it's a place too that has a lot of PRS history. You know,
Yeah.
so
People are
yeah, I
great
think
there. Yeah.
yeah, I think a lot of the people listening to this be like, oh man, like if I lived an hour from Altus, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a very cool spot to be in. Yeah,
That's probably another driver of wanting to go there is just there's more guys like myself in terms of
yeah,
they want and love to shoot and train PRS, you know, a lot of bolt guns guys, however you want to term it, but Elements
mhm,
more like, you know, mostly gas guns by far and, you know, with a
right,
few sprinkled in. So, you know, finding a training buddy or just somebody to go out, you know, shoot, hang out, like
mhm,
I think that's more Altus for sure. So,
yeah, yeah. So let's talk about your setup.
yeah.
What you said you shot a rimfire match and then got into centerfire.
Yeah.
Um, let's talk about how deep you are at this point, right? Because
Oh
everybody
man.
goes through this journey where it's like, you know, like almost an equipment race, right? But uh,
Yeah. The buy once, cry once thing is very true. And
yep,
definitely made some mistakes early on in terms of purchases just because of lack of knowledge. But
sure.
my rimfire rifle is just a CZ 457, which is it's a great rifle in the
It's
manners.
a fantastic rifle. Yeah.
Yeah, in the manor stock. I really like that rifle. It's not truly set up, at least the way I can see most guys are running it for PRS. You know, I feel like it's too light and probably a little imbalanced, but that's what I have. But
Mhm.
I only competed in a couple matches with that and moved over to centerfire, in which I built a MPA PMR in 6 GT, and man, that was like,
There you go.
yeah. The rifle I was telling you about that I bought like after, you know, I moved out of the fly fishing industry was a Tika T3X, and I thought, man, this thing hammers. And and then I got that MPA, which, you know, it's an awesome rifle. It's a great hunting rifle. Like it's amazing. But then when I was like, I'm gonna go do this centerfire thing, and I got this thing, I'm like, what is this? Like, I mean, I knew what was coming. Like I did my research, but it was just like I was just blown away. Just the performance. I mean, like probably aggregated like 0.4 half minute. Like I've had several, you know, ladders where it's just like I'll get in the 0.3s and maybe sometimes better, but like average is 0.4, 0.5. I mean, I've never had anything like that before. So yeah, so MPA, PMR, and 6GT, and then I'm my optics is Zeiss S3 6x36, and it's a great optic. I really like it.
Really good glass. Yep.
Yeah.
There's a lot of features on that scope that I like too. I have two of those.
Okay.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, I'm using a SG Pulse, which I really like, and MDT timer. And my eyes aren't what they used to be, so I got the Cyclops on there to help me out. And yeah, man, I really love it, and I think I'm gonna stay in production class for probably a while. The biggest mistake, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, keep going.
I was just gonna say the biggest mistake I made. Well, I made a lot of mistakes, but one of the big ones was I didn't know how obsessed I was going to be with the sport and how much I would shoot. Like I got this rifle in, I think, end of January, early February, and like I'm just about to burn out this barrel, and I did not think about the lead time.
Oh, yeah.
So, fortunately, I talked to Keith actually yesterday, and he's like, dude, your barrels are on the reamer right now. I was like, no way. Cause I think, so they must be crushing it because the lead time on the website was a lot longer than I thought. So anyway, if you like to shoot and you're new, like order your barrels right away.
That is good advice. Like if you're going to buy a PMR Pro, you know, or any other production division rifle, you know, for that matter, order that second barrel right away because it could be, you know, 20 weeks before you get a chambered barrel back to you. But, and a barrel is still worth, you know, 99% of what you paid for it if you were to sell it brand new, you know. But yeah, that's sound advice, man. And that one of the things you said there, right? Like you just called him Keith. You know, and we all know him as Keith Rudisil. He works at MPA. He is the production division shooter in the Southeast, right? Like he is a man. Good friend of mine too. I love talking to Keith. And I've traveled with him and stuff too. And but that just it says a little bit about the community, right? Like when you're like, I just talked to Keith and he gave me an update on where things are at. Like that is this community. You know, if you buy a stock from Foundation or Manners, or you know, if you're buying components from, you know, GA Precision, like, you know, we all kind of know each other in this community, and it's a phone call or a message away, and you get a real person who gives a shit about you, you know, and your journey. So
that's very
awesome.
that's very evident, like with anybody I've dealt with. I mean, Keith has been awesome. He's helped me a lot. Fielded some questions I have, you know, even outside of just, you know, MPA stuff, just shooting in general. There's a couple other pro guys that I've heard on different podcasts. I won't mention their name because I don't want them to get blown up. Because I do try to find a balance of like, you know, they've kind of have an open invitation to like, hey, if you're new and you have some questions, reach out. And I've taken advantage of that
on podcast.
But at the same time, you know, like, I know it gets annoying with all the new questions probably at times, and they're busy in their own lives. So I think, you know, there's a lot of help. There's really helpful people, but I think it's good to kind of strike a balance there too. But
it does feel like there are so many people working hard to grow this sport. And it's an absolute honor to be surrounded by so many really good individuals that you know, that all want to see us all be successful, right? Whether that's be successful in shooting or growing their business, you know, or you know, just growing the community, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So question.
Yes, sir.
You ended up going with the MPA
Mm-hmm.
PMR.
Yep.
What exact model of the PMR did you get? Because I think there's 2 or 3 different variations, right?
Yeah, I have the Vanquish chassis.
Yep.
And it's the newer Action, the American Rifle Company. I don't know if I should have said that out loud, but yeah.
No, well, yeah, it's the coup de grace.
I think everybody knows. Yeah, coup de grace. It's not the Curtis Action, which I think they used to have. But yeah, I think they're pretty much all the same in terms of the production class PMRs. You know, you can just choose a different chassis, but in terms of the barreled action, that's what that is.
Yeah.
And
looking at their website, so that you can get the BA, which I think is the original chassis. PMR, PMR rifle, Vanquish PMR rifle. They have ultralight, so for folks that want to shoot sportsman division, or NRL hunter, you could do that. So there's a couple different variations. What sold you on going with MPA?
Well, I was definitely, I tried out a lot of different rifles. There's a few out there that I would say like maybe would compete with that specific rifle that I didn't get to try out, but there were a couple I did get to try out, and I mean just the feel of the chassis, or I'm not saying they were any less accurate, but in terms like how it fit to my body, and I just felt like, I mean, if I'm being honest, like seeing what some of these other guys run, like it's not really a production rifle. Like it's more like, and I'm sure there's some heartburn over that from some of the open guys, but I mean, it's a ton of bang for your buck, like for sure. No pun intended. I mean, there's just not another that I'm aware of. Like I didn't find anything else out there that had the same, return on your investment, if you will. So yeah, and I mean, those guys are from Georgia, I think, right? They're in Georgia, and it just felt like I just gravitated towards MPA, and I love it. Like I've shot some, rifles with MDTs too. Those are awesome as well. Like I don't have anything negative to say, but that's just kind of what drew me and what I went to. Yeah.
It's a really good value, kind of local to the Southeast. Obviously good people behind it. And there's good people behind all of these brands too, that we're partnered with and friends with. So all right, 6GT. Why'd you choose 6GT?
This was kind of another, like, reading the internet before, like, talking to people that have been doing it for a long time. So it was a mixture of, like, what you read on the internet, and I mean, I don't really have any regrets over 6GT. I think I probably, if I had to do over, I might have done 6BRA or 6-dasher. I think 6GT is great, but like I run it slower than probably what it's meant to. And my understanding is, you correct me if I'm wrong, since I'm a new guy. Some of the other cartridges are just a lot easier to load. True or no? True or false?
So I actually couldn't tell you, if a BR based cartridge is easier. I went 308 and then 6.5 Creed and then 6GT, and then I shot 6GT for a lot of years. I have a production rifle from GA Precision in 6GT, and then I had an open rifle built in 25 GT. I can say all of the GT based cartridges I've had have been really easy to reload relative to the 308 and the 6.5. And I've since gone back in Sportsman to a 6.5 Creed. And right again, I'm like, okay, this is going to take some more work than a GT.
Sporty with
yeah,
a light rifle, yeah.
yeah, and I, it's all relative, and it all depends on the equipment you have and all that. I've found GT to be really easy to load.
Yeah.
I can imagine at Dasher and BRA, all of that is super easy too. I mean, my 25 GT looks like just a scaled up, 6 Dasher, and that is
Uh-huh.
super easy to load for. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't, I don't know if there's a perfect solution. I can tell you that when George Gardner and Tom Jacobs initially designed the 6GT, they I think the thought process there was like that was the minimum case to be able to go 3,000 feet per second. And at the time, the PRS is constantly evolving. Like we were just coming off the tail end of like, let's go fast, you know, and if you could go with a 6 millimeter, in a Creedmoor 47 size case and go lightning fast, you don't have to hold wind. Well, that's not exactly true. You're holding wind no matter what, it's just a tenth less maybe.
Yep.
But since then, a lot of folks, like I don't know anybody, actually, I don't say that. The last person I know that was trying to push a 6GT fast was Levi Wilson, and I don't think he's doing it fast anymore either.
Yeah.
Levi's from Tennessee. He's
okay.
I got to shoot with Levi in one of his first matches, and he's an awesome character if you ever get to meet him. But so how fast are you running your 6GT?
So with N140, it's going right at 2850, 2840
Sure.
something.
Yep.
And then
that's like Dasher speed. I think a lot of people find, right around that 2850 is like prime for Dasher. And that's right in the wheelhouse for a GT too.
Yeah. And then I switched to N150 and I found a good node like right at 2800. So I know that's probably pretty slow for 6GT, but like, I mean, going from like my 6 Creed to 6GT at 2800, like it's like a tangible difference in terms of like seeing what's going on downrange. Like I feel like it's helpful, at least for me in the stage I'm at, to run it like at 2800. Like it's been helpful, but so those are the two. Like I feel like I'm probably going to land on N150 and I shoot 105s, and I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to take Chad and Francis' advice, probably everybody's advice, and just like find something and just like know it in and out and just stick with that. And then, instead of just chasing around cartridges, I do like to tinker. So it's tempting for me to be like, dude, I want to try 6 BRA or, 25 GT, but I've already put down some cash for 2 barrels. So I'm going to shoot that for a while. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. That's, I can tell you that recipe, right at 2800 with a 105, like that, there's been a lot of matches won with that formula. Like, that's not going to hold you back, especially if you're anything less than half minute, and the rifle might, the rifle might even be better than half minute, it could be bipod, could be, that might be a .1 gun, with the right shooter and everything behind it. Like, I think you're onto something there, and just, keep making that ammo the same. Don't go any faster. Don't tinker with it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that, reloading and that whole thing is probably one of the bigger lessons I've learned up to this point is like, because I'm kind of a perfectionist by nature and I do like to tinker and I like to reload and just, I spent so much time chasing my tail, like trying to dial in the perfect combination and, meanwhile being quasi new to at least to reloading. Dude, if I had spent more time just dry firing, which I do almost, I would say like a couple times a week, and just time on the range, I probably would be further along than I am now. But I mean, Yeah, reloading is awesome, but like I spent way too much time and probably overthought it a lot, you know. I
Yeah.
can say anybody that's new listening, I feel like I could save people a ton of time if they listen to some podcasts. There's like a wealth of information
Yeah.
on all of them. You know, miles to matches. Some of those episodes I've listened to. I've listened to all of them, but some of them probably 3 or 4 times. Like, you know, MPA, some of the reloading stuff, multiple times. And if you start there and you go to Precision Rifle Blog and see what the
Yes.
pro
I was going to
guys
ask you about that.
see what they're doing, like you will save yourself some headache and, you know, potentially wasting some money on like the wrong bag or the wrong bipod, which I did on both. Um, um, you know, those guys, I believe they run that for a reason. And, you know, coming from the music background and fly fishing industry, like I get it. There's sponsorships and all of that, but like those guys are competitors too. Like if it wasn't truly working for them, like they wouldn't run it. They're not going to be choose the gear because it's free because they want to win. They're going to choose that gear because like they like it. It's competitive, right? So I think that's a great place to get information for like, okay, I really want to try this now, or you know, what do I buy? Like, what do I do? You know, like there's some questionable places you could get information. You probably know what I'm talking about, but like
Facebook groups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially on load data, like that's a no-go. But Precision Rifle Blog is awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I man, I think about when I was sort of in your shoes from a few months ago, and which direction do I go? And I remember reading, maybe it was Precision Rifle Blog, maybe it was podcast or something, but there was a group of guys, maybe it was a business, I don't recall. This goes back, 5 to 10 years, probably closer to 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was called Accuracy Addiction, and these guys were running, I believe, medium length actions, shooting 6.5 by 55 improved. So think like a 6.5 Swede, I think is what we would call that, but
okay.
Different shoulder angles, and they were getting I don't even know, 3,000 feet per second or something like that, and these guys, I mean, I heard them talk on podcasts and talking, and the sport was different back then.
Yeah.
And I bought into it. I'm like, oh, this is what we, this is what all the PRS competitors are going to be doing. And this is the edge that I'm looking for. Yeah. And being a new shooter, you're always looking for that edge because you think you can sort of solve the puzzle with gear, and it's not true. Like, and I hope that new shooters are finding that out sooner now, right? Like, there's no gear out there that's going to make you a better competitor. There's lots of really good gear. Choose some, do your research. Precision Rifle Blog. Our site, the PRS site, has, what our shooters are using or whatever. If you go to the bottom of the main page, listen to the podcast, but a 6mm going 2,800 feet per second. Good, done. Move on to the next piece, right? Find a chassis or stock that works for you, that you're comfortable with. Find an optic that you're comfortable with, right? There's so many good options, but there isn't a formula that's good. Yeah. All of a sudden you're going to be, competitive with Jeff Geary. Right. The formula is find something, stick with it, and get out and dry fire. Just get that, get bullets down range.
Yeah. I quickly learned, like, you can gather all the knowledge in your head, and it's super helpful. Like, I think it shortens the learning curve a lot, but like, dude, what I'm realizing now, it's like, you just have to put in the work and get out there on the range and just train, just put rounds down range and, just keep doing it. And so,
I reading a book right now. It's called With Winning in Mind. So it's all about the mental process and all of that. And it's funny when reading it, I can think of times where I've been like super dialed in and shooting really well, competing really well, and how all that kind of came together. But one of the things that he talks about in here is it's like subconscious thoughts versus conscious thoughts.
Mm.
And I think if you're a new shooter, like everything is a conscious thought. Like, how do I set my bag down? How do I set my rifle down in the bag? How do I find a target?
Yep.
Okay, I found a target. Like, is my zoom good? What do I hold for wind now? Is my elevation dialed? Like, okay, like, where is my trigger finger? What is my process with that?
Yeah.
Make sure I follow. Like, there's all of these thoughts that are just, front and center, and it's too much to think about all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have nothing nothing is committed to your subconscious.
Yeah.
Now with enough experience, and enough times pulling the trigger, enough time setting the bag down, setting your bag into it or your rifle into the bag and getting your NPA right, like all of that kind of becomes subconscious where you now are thinking, as soon as you're on target, and then,
Mm-hmm.
up to that point, it's all subconscious. You're just going through the motions. But as soon as you're on target, now your conscious is literally thinking, what's my weather conditions, right?
Yeah.
Like, what are the conditions I'm going to take this shot?
Yep.
That still looks like 410s. Okay, I'm going to take the shot. And I'm going to watch the bullet. And that's
Yeah.
all you're thinking about, right?
Yeah.
So none of that has anything to do with gear,
Right.
right? But it has everything to do with how many repetitions that you've put in,
Absolutely.
of going through those motions. So
Yeah.
if there's any advice I have is, get a formula that works, and then move on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's build yourself a tank trap,
Yep.
sit in the garage and just build positions, get behind the rifle.
Mm-hmm.
If you did that 50 times a day, which probably would take 30 minutes, maybe
Yep.
20 minutes, you'd be a much better shooter at the
Yeah.
end of at the end of a week, right? Just because your body is sort
Yeah.
of going through those motions and committing all that to the subconscious.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. Just being a musician, I mean, like when you watch those guys up there playing, I was a drummer,
Nice.
when you're doing that, like they're not thinking about it. Like it's muscle memory. Like they're not thinking about anything. They're just zipping along their guitar or piano, playing drums, whatever. I mean, so I very much had that thought process with just dry firing or just getting reps. Like I want to build muscle memory here and then not think about it. Because the vast majority of my mistakes up to this point are like mental errors, like, overthinking or not thinking about the stage enough, and so that, yeah, still always working on fundamentals, but just, getting a good stage plan and trying to visualize it, memorize it, whatever it is you have to do. And I haven't quite cracked the code on that for me personally yet, but I don't want to think about, a modified prone position. You just want to go up there and do it. Like that's just one less thing. Like I feel like myself or anybody else that's new that you have, you definitely have control over, and you just work that out through reps, so yeah.
100%. So what does your future look like, Tate? Like what? I mean, you got a great rifle system. You got more barrels on the way. How many pieces of brass do you have, by the way?
I've got about 800 pieces. So I have 500 plus of alpha and I think 300 pieces of GA precision, which I guess is Hornady. I've kind of, and I've got it all organized in bins. Like I know how many firings and all the things.
Yeah.
that gives me happiness for whatever weird reason. I know exactly where that stage is. So that's how much brass I have. I've got, at least on this rifle, about 1,900 rounds down the barrel, which to me is a lot, probably not a lot for a lot of guys, but since January, I guess, end of January.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's taking it pretty seriously that in call it 6 months, you get almost 2,000 rounds down. That's, 350 a month. So, what are you going to do with all this experience? What does the future look like for Tate here? What?
Well, my thought process, I definitely knew after the first match, like, all right, this is it. Like this, whatever this is, it resonates with me. I'm going to do it. And I thought, I'm going to not think about how the points work or what the scores are. Like, I'm just going to go out there and shoot. Like even the AI match today, which was, I think, my second match or third match for Centerfire. Like I remember being discouraged from doing that. They were like, dude, don't go do that. But I was like, no, like I'm going to go shoot this match because I want to go learn something. Like, at least the way my mind thinks, like I welcome failure. Like I'm excited to go out and fail because
why?
Because when I fail, like I'm definitely going to learn something and I can move forward and build on that. Like, I mean, so I don't know. That's just something for me personally where I just try to flip failure on its head. Like, no, I'm going to go try to squad with a pro and I'm going to go look like an idiot because I'm going to learn something from this. So that was super cool.
But in the end, and I wasn't there with you for that match.
Yeah.
I'm sure you didn't look like an idiot. You probably looked like a newer shooter.
Yeah.
Learning a lot. And it's okay, for anybody that's listening to all the podcasts and, and just getting into this, but is, afraid to do a 2-day match. Like it is 100% okay to go out there and fail. We all failed. We all have, and you learn a lot. And I can tell you that if you want to get much better at doing this game, you have to go fail.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I welcome that. Like I'm excited about those. I just see it all as opportunity. I saw Ben Gossett in the, speaking of Ben, I mentioned him earlier. He was in there. I was like, no way. And the squat.
You squatted with him?
Yeah. I was like, I'm doing it.
Cool.
Yeah.
How cool.
Of course I didn't badger him or anything during the match. Like I just watched and was a sponge, and he was a super cool guy. There was a lot of great shooters there. And, it took me, every match so far, like 3 or 4 stages just to kind of calm down. But by the end of that day, it was just like, man, let's just have fun and run it. I actually won a stage at that match, which was kind of crazy.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah. So it was
good for you. Good for you. And for those of you who don't know, like at the AI matches, it's unfortunately not yet a PRS 2-day Pro Series sanctioned match, but they pay out every stage. There's a prize, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was super fun. I don't post on social media once, but I posted about that because I was just so pumped. Like I felt like I won the AG Cup or something, while also feeling like an imposter at the same time. But that was super cool. Just, man, this year, I guess to answer your question, probably got off track there. Like I'm just trying to soak it up, learn as much as I can, practice, train, ask the right people the right questions, hopefully, and get the right answer, and just improve on all those failures. And I did make the mistake of going to the PRS site and like looking at where I was just for fun. And man, that got me fired up. Like I was like, oh my gosh, I probably shouldn't have looked at that. I think I was at 9th for the region for a hot minute, and I think I'm down. I haven't shot 3 matches yet, but I think I'm down to like 14th or 15th. But it's that competitive thing that's probably in all of us where you're just like, man, I want to make a run. But reality check though too, right? I have a family. I've got 2 kids. Like I just turned 46. I'm busy with life and all the things. I don't, maybe for some people, but it doesn't seem like super conducive to like, I want to go all the way and like really make a run for it. But, maybe if I was 36 and wasn't married and didn't have kids, like it'd be a
Oh
different
man.
story,
I think
but
it's probably not healthy to think about that, but
yeah.
back in my early 30s, I was really big into triathlons
Oh, cool.
and doing Ironman and that type of thing. And I'm not built for Ironman competitions. I'm 6'2", 220 pounds. Like,
Yeah.
that is not a triathlete. But I was a swimmer in high school, and I
Okay.
love riding bike and running. I could run, walk. So, had I found PRS back at that time,
Yeah.
because obviously body type doesn't matter. Like, all
Mm-hmm.
shapes and sizes can be super competitive.
Yep.
Man, I probably would have gone deep into debt. Honestly, it would have been
Yeah.
unhealthy.
Yeah.
Credit card, like,
Yeah.
do I need 2? No, let's buy 4 barrels just in case.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been really, really.
Might have another
crazy.
powder store shortage.
Yeah.
I should probably get 4 jugs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Buy $2,000 of the powder.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, it's crazy. Hey, I want to.
That's funny.
I thank you for finishing the question that I asked.
Yeah.
I want to go back to the tangent though. I want to go
Okay.
back. I want to go back to the AI match.
Yeah.
So, squatted with Ben Gossett.
Yeah.
What is one of the takeaways that you had just watching him? And I think I'm trying to look through this from eyes of a newer shooter, and you see him, competing at the highest level.
Yeah. Probably. I think the thing that caught my attention the most, well, there's 2 things. Number one, like, and this is just me, this is just how I'm wired. Like, I'm super annoyed right now that I can't make my own win call. Like, I can get it on the Kestrel and do all the things and probably get close. But like, I don't want to have to always ask, like, dude, what was your win call? Like, I want to know for me, because like, I don't know if you can trust somebody else's win call. Not anything against those guys, but just him knowing he's not asking people what the wind is, or I didn't hear him. So that was one thing I noticed. And then just how smooth he is. I mean, I know it's kind of cliche now, like slow is smooth is fast, but like he's just so like calm, and just the way he would run his bolt to the way he would move on the stage, just his economy of motion. That's probably the biggest thing that stuck out. And, reflecting on that, like end of the day, it's just like, man, I just think that's something that just comes with time. Like, he's clearly done this probably tens of thousands of times, to where he's not thinking about anything, but just where's that bullet impacting, probably,
Yeah.
So
that was my takeaway, and that was what I was asking the question for.
Yeah.
I've shot with Ben. I think I've been squatted with him a couple times. I've watched him shoot a bunch. I watched him win a match. A buddy of mine in Michigan, Nate Whitehead, he hosted a 2-day Pro Series match a couple years, and Ben came up to that and won it one year. And I remember watching, and that's like 2020 maybe, or 21. I remember watching Ben win that match and just in awe of, like, man, this guy is so slow and like methodical. But it's, find the target, close the bolt, pull the trigger.
Yeah.
And it's and like, wow, this guy it's just a machine, watching a machine, well-oiled machine just work.
Yeah.
And
I think it's crazy.
And you're right. It takes tens of thousands of rounds to get to that point.
Yeah. But he can go fast too. I mean, I'm sure we all saw that clip
gosh,
on the PRS barricade. It was like 38 or 39 seconds. I don't remember what it was, but it was insane. It was just like, wow.
He's fun to watch. And I don't want to tell folks, new shooters, like, go watch a match, because you're not going to get the experience of actually shooting it. You're not going to get the learning opportunity. In fact, you might even be a little bit discouraged too, because you're going to watch somebody like that who is, so well, trained that like, I can't do that. Like, no, you can't yet, but you absolutely can get there. So I want to ask again, AI match.
Yep.
What stage did you win? And describe the stage and all that. I'm really curious about that.
It was well, I don't know if you heard about that match, but it was a 2-day match we squeezed into one day because of like impending thunderstorms that were coming the next day. So it was 16 stages. Like I was absolutely smoked by the end of that day, but it was stage 15. Stage 15, and it was on a boat. So,
like a floating platform.
Yeah, floating platform, which I've never shot off before. And I actually don't shoot a lot in prone, like hardly ever. I probably should work on that. But anyway, it was just like, it's stage 15, it's the end of the day. Like at this point, I'm totally relaxed. I'm having fun. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to freaking go for it. Nice. And, you have the opportunity to get up on there and get super stable where you want. I made sure like there was zero torque in my bipod, just like MPA is perfect. And dude, I just ran the bolt and went for it and just trapped it basically, when it came back and just let it go.
So was it a single target? Like a small target okay.
Yeah, it was a single target. I can't remember the distance, but I feel like it was 400 or 500 yards. So it wasn't like way out
there.
Small
target then too.
Yeah. I honestly don't remember the size, but I think I did it in like, I think it was like 28 or 29 seconds, something like that.
10 shots.
Yeah, I'm sure it was 10. I don't know if it was 10 or 12. But
you just zoned in. That's awesome.
Yeah, so it was super cool.
Man.
Well, to be fair, like I won the stage because the other person. Well, I remember the RO.
You can only win one stage at this match, right? Yep.
Yeah.
So Ben Gossett may have beat you by a couple seconds.
Yeah, that's the truth of it. It was somebody else that beat it, but I know it was the RO. I won't say his name out loud, but he was giving me a good time about that, and I was like, dude, that was awesome. Well, I walked back by the stage. He's still there, and he says something out loud amongst some other guys, and I think somebody else went for it, and it was less than like, a tenth or a hundredth of a second or something. Like if you go find the match and look at the scores, like we're both like 29 something, so it was like fraction of a second, something like that. But yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was just like I don't have anything to lose. I'm just gonna go for it,
Yep. I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, man, we're at 45, 50 minutes here. Is there anything else that you wanna mention for new shooters, or what your plans are going forward? Like for the rest of 25 here.
Yeah, let's see. I would just encourage any new shooter that's thinking about it, that I don't know how many new shooters you get on here, but like maybe they're on the fence on spending that money. Like I think it's really cool that you guys have the sportsman division where you can just show up with granted you have to have 6'5", right?
Right.
But
which is super popular. A lot of guys.
Yeah, like they can just show up and go try it out and see what it's all about, and they're most likely gonna love it. If they're big hunters, like you're gonna only gain advantages by shooting this, and it gives you something to do when it's not hunting season too. So,
right.
If you're on the fence, I would say go try it out. I mean, it's an incredible sport. Precision Rifle Blog for sure.
Yes.
Podcasts like this one, big. I love Morgan's podcast and JTAC, but like Miles to Matches, it saved me so much time and energy. Like I know for a fact, because there's just all these little. I mean, all the podcasts have nuggets in there, but for me, I just really latched onto that and listened to what Chad and Francis were saying, and I think it saved me a lot of time and trouble and money just to figure out like how to do things more efficiently, or just it's super valuable. Honestly, probably some of these podcasts shouldn't be free, and they probably made a lot of competitors mad by like giving some really good things away. But, you know, I think it's at the end of the day, it all helps the sport and gets people excited about it because, you know, it's one more thing to do when we're not actually out on the range. Like you can listen to a podcast and while you're, you know, reloading a couple hundred rounds, and it's just fun. It just makes it more of a whole throughout your day, I guess, versus just like, well, I'm going to go to the range on Saturday and then I won't think about it for a week, you know?
Right. You got podcasts Monday through Wednesday and all that you can tune into, and you get a chance to, you know, kind of participate in what you're doing while not at the range. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. So, that'd probably be my only thing that I've learned is just find somebody that knows what they're doing, you know, has some credibility, and listen to those guys, and good times.
Awesome. Tate, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. And,
Ken, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Hopefully we do a catch up here, and towards the end of the season. It'd be fun.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
All right. Thanks, Tate.
Thank you, Ken. Take care.